So the next phase is to detail some of the mesh and add some of the details we missed on the first pass. So I've speeded this one up a little bit because it can get quite repetitive, and a lot of the videos in the next bit will be speeded up. So first thing to do is to add some fingers. So because I'm extruding out, I need to make the end of the hand have 4 polygons. So I'm just using the knife tool and just splitting, just leaving some triangles for now, but we'll come to that later. Adding a few knife loops, as you can see, and then selecting the end and extruding out for the thumb. Down, rotate, scale. Down, rotate, scale. Only really putting the geometry in at this stage, not worrying too much about the anything other than just getting the geometry out. We'll shape it and match it to the reference later on. At this stage, just tweak it a little bit. Just point tweaking. And then select 2 outer ones, extrude down using the reference. Obviously if you select a whole bar, the whole line of them, it'll just be one block. So if you select 2 outer ones and then the 2 individuals, that's an easy way of doing it. So the first knuckle, and then select them all. I'll move them out first, align them slightly better. And then select some of the points, make it more rounded like the barrel of a finger. Once it's closer to the shape, select all 4. Next 2 joints and then the finger ends. Add some splits. Just helps to get, once you've got the volume in, you can adjust it. Once you've got the geometry first, then you can add the volume, which is what I'm doing now. And the joints won't be in the right place, but the geometry is there to move around. And you can see it's pretty much matching the reference with quite a little effort, really. So it's still not exactly how we're going to have it, but it's getting there. So I'm running some splits right through the fingers, right across the back. Certainly that will help now to round off the finger ends. Just tweaking the shoulders. The one thing that you'll find with this kind of project is you see things that need correcting all the time. So where you're working just on one bit, if you see something, you'll correct it without even thinking. And then wherever on that split, just moving it around to give the cylindrical shape of the arm. Just feeling it by eye, really, not looking at the reference too much. Be very careful that there's any splits that you do through the body that you're not adding huge amounts of polygons where you don't need them. That's a thing that I'll keep repeating throughout the exercise. Adding some geometry around the knuckles, or the end of the finger knuckles. Split vertically through the fingers. We've just got one more split to do on that last finger, but there we go. Always try and distribute evenly all of the polygons. So once I've put a split like that, I just go and check if it's made any problems for me. Just still adding loops at this stage. Not too many more to do now. Just select the faces where the ear will be. Work out that the right faces, and then shape them. and then just holding down command, just pull out with extrude, scale them up, extrude, scale them down. Just lost the faces there, and then to the end of the ear. And select the inner faces, extrude inwards, scale, extrude inwards again, backwards, just giving some better shape now, so shaping where the chest area is covered with the top, just above the belly area. Bit of distribution, distribute it out again. Simply at this stage there's so much tweaking on a project like this that you could go literally for hours, and obviously I've speeded this up, so be prepared to put the hours in. Getting the distribution right, and it may be that you prefer to use a smooth, so one way you can speed this up is just use the brush tool set to smooth, and you can have an area of effect and you can smooth out some of the polygons. And I do use that quite a lot, but at this stage it's still points. We're just going on to the smooth now, so set it quite low and just tighten up. Just a quick brush tap tightens up the mesh. If it's evenly distributed beforehand, this makes it easier. You can see there it's just rounding everything off, just nicely tightening up, work all the way around the mesh. Down the back even. Steer clear from places like the tail for now. Now this will lose a lot of the detail in the face, as you'll see, but we'll put that in the next pass. We've got good volume up at the top, so we can always put that back. Now I'm just using the brush with smear just to get the hands in the right place. Look at the shape in your hands, look at where the pads are fatter at the outer side of the hand, and the pad underneath the thumbs got some volume to it there, so just try and respect that. You can see there I've made a bit of a mess of the top geometry, so back to smooth and smooth that down. Tighten the hand down. Sometimes you make a mess of an area, so you can see the hands, certain angles are just not how they need to be, so but all of that comes as you get closer and closer. Try and get as close as you can with as few polygons as you can, because it always, as you can see now, we're adjusting quite a few polygons on that hand, and it's so much easier if you get the shape and the positioning and the volume right early on. You can see that we've lost quite a lot of the shape on the face, so I'm just going back in now and correcting that. It's got a good amount of geometry up there to use. And that covers this pass pretty much.